G'day everyone, it's me, the Anti-Theocrat. Now, I have posted elsewhere that I won't be recording part 4 of my NUS videos until next week because I'm on the road tomorrow travelling. Because I'm on the road travelling, I was cleaning up my laptop a bit, ready for travelling. I'm away on business, and yeah, this tab just didn't want to be closed, and it wanted me to talk about it. So, where are we? Let's have a look, shall we? Medium.com. One of the possibly worst websites on the internet. But let's have a look at this, shall we? Let's just have a look at the hypocrisy of this crap. Dear men who write articles about how women should behave, please stop. A reminder, this is a feminist website. Now, feminism is all about telling men what's wrong with them and how they should behave. The only services for men in this country for who are suffering domestic violence are behaviour changing, because we've got to feminise men to make them more as we perceive them to be. So here's the hypocrisy right from the top, and this is what made me stop and decide that I had to record this blatant hypocrisy just in the title. Dear men who write articles about how women should behave, please stop. Feminists believe they have all the right to tell men how to behave. But let's look at this from the other side, shall we? From the side of the men. Do we not have a right to an expectation? Do we not have a right to what we would prefer in a partner or in the women in our lives? Do we have to put up with you screeching banshees telling us what's wrong with men, but we can't say we don't need you to tell us what's wrong with men? Aren't men allowed any choices? Oh, clearly not. I mean, this is a feminist website. But let's read on, shall we? I cannot read one more thing that tells women to not talk about their feelings in order to protect the egos of men. Where in the fuck are you reading those? Are you reading those on feminist websites? Because I don't know where the fuck you're reading that, right? Okay, there are a raft of men in the world who do not want their partners to talk and brag about the men they've slept with in the past, or the women they've slept with, whatever in the fuck, right? They just don't want to know their partner has been fucking around. But are you telling me there are no women who think that way? I have been an extremely, well, I guess I still am, sexually active man. I started out when I was 15 years old. And I can tell you, one of my mates once said to me that I changed girlfriends as often as I changed my underwear. And at that point in my life, a woman would move in with me for 2 weeks, and when she moved out, another one would move in with me. 2 weeks, move out, in, out, in, out. It was a weird time in my life. I've never been much on the one-night stands, but 2 weeks seemed to be right for me. I don't know. So, yeah. Do you think that all women are happy to have me talk about my sex life that way? Do you think so? I have 2 partners. I can tell you one's not too concerned. The other one would prefer not to know. So I can tell you this is both are possible within women as well. I don't get to fucking tell men that they're not allowed to tell their partners or anyone else in their lives that they don't want to hear about their sexual conquests. I mean, there are guys out there who don't want to hear about my sexual conquests. Guys who are not part of my life. And they don't want to hear about it because it's not their life. And maybe they wish they had. Maybe they think I'm just an outright slut. And I agree I'm an outright slut. But whatever it is, they don't want to hear me talking about my conquests. There are women in my life who didn't want to. There are women not in my life don't want me to. And there are men equally as in and out of my life who don't want to hear about it. Right? You think that because you're an outright fucking slut, you just get to tell everyone about it. And they're meant to just sit back and go, well, that's wonderful for you. How nice. this week I was unfortunate enough to stumble across multiple articles by men on what men want from women. Yeah, there are articles out there like that, but I don't know that there are any that focus the way you're saying. But anyway, go on. Each one was sexist, was it? Untrue, was it? And ridiculously thoughtless, was it? Dangerous, was it? And rooted in misogyny. Really? You're telling me that men who were talking about what they want from women hate women? Why then do they want anything from women? I think you're downright wrong to have put what men want from women in the same fucking sentence as misogyny. You don't understand what you're talking about, do you? You've written a fucking article with no understanding of the topic. None at fucking all. What upset me about these articles is that some women might read them and actually think they could change themselves to fit the needs of men. Well, I don't know. I don't ask people to change themselves. I think you meet the person who's right for you. Going around expecting people to change is what women do, and it just fucks up relationships. Look for the person who fits your requirement. Don't expect people to change. In any case, women have no problem getting involved with people because they find them to be sexually attractive and then expecting them to change, do they? Here are a few that I've read. Go ahead, source them if you will, please. See his eyes light up when you tell him to appreciate that he gets up and goes to work every day, regardless that you're doing the same. What? See his eyes light up. But hang on. If he's the primary wage earner and you're going out to serve coffees for 3 hours, then maybe the work he's putting in is still worthy of recognition. In any case, you're assuming that the woman he's talking about does the same. I, on the other hand, am assuming that this is a man who wants a traditional at-home wife. Why did you assume that she's working? Why did you assume that she's going out bringing in income? Now, I'm an at-home father, and I'm going to bring this up every fucking video you bitches talk shit like this, because I'm an at-home father, and I am grateful for the fact that I get to be an at-home father and that somebody else supports me financially in that choice. I am endlessly grateful. And I endlessly say, if you decide you don't want to do this, if you decide you don't want to work anymore and bring in this income, but I know that my partner who brings in most of our family income, she's happy in what she does. That's why we chose this way of doing things, because I like kids, she doesn't. She loves her job. I'd been in the workforce well long enough and sick to death of it. So I am grateful that she goes to work and does something she enjoys, and I offer her out anytime she looks like she needs it. But while she does it, yes, I'm grateful. And now, regardless that you're doing the same, indicates that you're going out to a job. Well, I started my own business. I was working hard at that. I went on tour on the road, took my kids with me, my son with me. So, it didn't matter. I got to do that because somebody else was supporting me financially. If you're going out serving coffee for 3 hours a day, you get to do that because somebody else is supporting you financially. Don't fucking pretend like it's the same for you as for them. And I'm still saying to you, I doubt this is what this person was hinting at. This person was hinting that he'd like his partner to stay at home and raise the children. And there are a lot of women happy to do that. That you're a fucking slut and you want to fuck around is not his business. Why the fuck are you getting in his business? Find someone who meets your slut requirements. Are you kidding me? No, nobody's fucking kidding you. This is a reasonable thing to ask for. It's not unreasonable to not be just treated like dirt when you are supporting other people. It's nice. It would be really nice. And trust me, I do this. Really nice to acknowledge somebody else supporting you. It's really nice to offer them support in what they're doing. My wife is in the job she's in now because I helped her get there. I supported her. I even encouraged her decision to take the job she's in now. And now she's at the top of her game. She's at the highest management level for what she's doing because of my encouragement. Because I'm grateful for what she does. I know what she enjoys. I helped. It's not that fucking difficult to believe. Are you kidding me? No. Nobody's kidding you. We're supposed to compliment men for waking up and going to work. If they're supporting you, yes. Is there something fucking wrong with that? First of all, no. Well, I hope you're a sour, lonely old bitch with 15 fucking cats when you die. And I hope they fucking eat you. Because you are not worthy of a relationship with someone who respects you enough to support you. Second, absolutely not. Well, again, I hope you will die with fucking 20 cats eating you. Third, why? Because it's a fucking nice thing to do. You never heard about being polite? We all wake up and go to work every day. No, we fucking don't. I mean, I get up with my wife. She goes out the door 15 minutes before I take our son to school. So, yes, technically, I get up and I work. And don't get me wrong. She shows that she's grateful that I raised our son. Right? It goes both ways. There's no reason why this guy in this statement wasn't saying, and I'm going to appreciate my partner for staying at home and raising the kids. Right? Why do you think this is just one way? Right, you've made it clear that this is about guys saying what they would like. But why do you assume that he wouldn't offer the same in return? We all wake up and go to work every day. No, we fucking don't. Men, not to employment. I can tell you now, this parenting lark is a fucking breeze. You guys, get into it, really. Do it. It's fucking brilliant. You can get a woman to support you to stay at home and play games with your kids. Fuck. I started a business that allows me to write off toys as a tax thing. My son at the age of 10 was paid to 12 fire staff. You know, it was all part, and I can declare it all on the tax, and I can buy wonderful things and spend my time playing with wonderful things that I never had time for when I was in the workforce. Yeah. Don't pretend like what I do is the same as going to work every day 9 to 5 to work for some other bastard you hate. Men do not need to be complimented for doing the bare minimum, and neither does anyone else. Well, then we won't be thanking those mothers for fucking changing a nappy then, will we? Because I'll tell you, that's a fucking minimal. But explicitly telling women to compliment men for going to work is seriously disturbed. No, there's no demand there. This is just what he would appreciate. This is what he would like. He would like somebody to thank him for putting in the effort for them. There's no fucking demand. No explicit demand. Babe, can we talk? Are amongst the most dreaded words in any language to the vast majority of men. He hears only, I'm in trouble. I'll tell you, this is true. So let's hear about it, will we? Okay, so in this situation, we're not allowed to ask men to talk because men are unable to even speak about conflict. Well, if you weren't... Look, a guy who thinks like this is somebody who's in a relationship where this is normal. And if you're that bitch, get the fuck over it, grow the fuck up, bloody stop bitching at the guy. And trust me, I've been in relationships where you don't want to talk. But I am also in a very good relationship in which I can talk about any fucking thing. Because there are women out there who do not drive you to this line of thought. But I understand where this comes from. And I side with this guy. There are many women out there who, when they say this, you immediately think this. Right? Babe, can we talk? Shit, I'm in trouble. No, dude. We can speak about conflict and resolve our issues like adults, or I want nothing to do with you. No, the point is he doesn't want to talk to you because you are not looking for resolution. When you do this, you are looking to lecture, you are looking to nag, you are looking to rag out on somebody. I tell you, find the right woman, the one who won't nag you in this way, and this is not even in your mind. When my partner, my primary partner, my first partner, I won't say primary, that's a bullshit term for what I've got going on. When my first partner says, can we talk? I know I'm not going to be nagged about some petty, insignificant thing. It is going to be something important going on in our lives that we need to address. That's not what this guy is saying. Stop telling women to withhold their feelings, emotions. Nobody is telling her to withhold them, just to stop fucking nagging him. This entire thing reeks of men not being able to handle the most basic conflict, which I'd like to think is complete garbage. Well, it is complete garbage. You're the problem. What you want to talk about is the problem. That's what this guy is saying. He's not saying you don't want to say, I was very sad today, something happened to me. He says, what he's saying is, if that's what you want to discuss, you will come out and say that. It's when you say, babe, can we talk? This suggests something different than you are just having a bad day. I know the men in my life are able to communicate without collapsing on themselves like a dying star. You should be able to as well. Yeah, look, nobody fucking wants to hear about your soy boys. They are not the ideal, okay? By the way, the men in your life, fucking hard up pricks, aren't they? And plus, they're probably only in it to get laid. They know you're a slut. I'm going to keep coming back to this because you fucking made it clear that this is what your life is. Men are not, right off the bat, you know. Men are not socialised to be in touch with their emotions. Socialised? We're not socialised. It's not fucking to do with socialised, right? This is to do with our biology, right? What we are as a biological creature. It has nothing to do with socialised. This is this feminist fucking bullshit thought that nothing is real, everything is created. It's bullshit. All right? Your low testosterone fucking soy boys, they talk because they are more like fucking women. But we high testosterone men, we don't talk because it's not in our nature. Right? It's just not. And don't forget, don't get me wrong, I can talk. I can talk about emotions, I can talk about a whole range of things, but I save them for when it's important. I save them for when it's necessary. I don't just go gabbing like you fucking women, especially sort of write this article. Again, this is a huge generalisation, and some saying, women just mature faster than men. No, I've had this out. My wife and myself actually discussed. See, I can talk to my wife. We actually talked about this one. Women just mature faster than men. No, women do not mature, ever. They never, ever mature. Because they are never responsible for anything that happens in their life. They are the least responsible, most childlike people in the fucking world. The fact that they don't want to take risks the way men do does not equal maturity. Men are risk takers, but every risk we take, we are responsible for. Responsibility is the key to maturity, and women don't have it. Now, I had this conversation with my wife over something else that came up recently, and she fucking agrees with me. Women in today's society particularly are not responsible for the things they do, ever. There's always some fucking excuse for them. Men, on the other hand, are always responsible. Men are mature. We mature earlier because we have to take responsibility earlier. We are told we are responsible for our actions. We are not allowed to hit men. We are hit women. We're raised that way as young boys. And at that point, we're already taking on a responsibility. We're taking on the responsibility to make sure that our greater upper body physical strength is not met out on somebody who biologically has less. So we are taught responsibility from day fucking dot. Women mature faster. Women just don't take fucking risks, okay? That's not the same thing. No, we mature at the same rate. No, you don't. You never mature. The women of my grandmother's era, my grandmother had responsibilities. She took those responsibilities seriously. She would have thanked my grandfather for coming home from work, because she understood that she had a responsibility to her family, to her children, to make sure that her husband came home to a house that he felt comfortable in. And don't worry, my grandmother was no fucking spotless housewife. But my grandfather never felt out of place in his home. He knew he could go home and it would be home. He knew his kids were looked after. My grandmother took those responsibilities seriously. You don't take any responsibility for anything. You wrote this fucking article, shows that you have no responsibility for anything. So, no. What you call bad behaviour, I call risk-taking. What you call bad behaviour is men having a willingness to say that there are things they prefer in women. This is not the same as not having responsibility. Toxic masculinity, we might as well say toxic femininity. It's got its own issues. And patriarchy, which doesn't really exist, absolutely impact men. Well, toxic femininity and matriarchy affect women. What about it? Right? I know that these are made-up feminist things that you're talking about, but I'm trying to take this down to their grassroots. You know, toxic femininity and matriarchy. Absolutely, they fucking affect women. Absolutely. And how are they best spelt out? By feminists in places like the Medium, writing bullshit articles like this. Toxic femininity and matriarchy. Clear and simple. Spelled out in every fucking word. But men are also able to do the research and seek help, therapy, advice in the same ways that women are. We don't want the same fucking therapy as women are, but we are not offered a therapy that works for us. Do you get the fucking clue that we are not the same? Right? I don't want to sit in a little fucking circle of people chatting, listening to us all chat about our fucking difficulties. And I know this has been offered to men. There's a men's support group. It's actually the only one that I actually support in this country. And that's what they do. And this is not how most men communicate. All right, we'd be better off sitting at a bar with a beer in hand, just fucking talking shit. It's why we do things like talk about sport and what have you. And I'm not a person who talks about sport, but I understand this is how we men communicate. It's how we get over our stresses. We don't need to get down in depth about everything that's happening with us all the time and explain our problems to total fucking strangers. We barely want to most of us, I'm definitely in this category, barely want to tell my family my day-to-day problems. One of the things my family appreciate about me, and I've had them say this to me, is that I take the day-to-day worries of life off their shoulders. Because I make sure the bills are paid. I make sure we've got a roof over our head. I don't tell them when we're short up for cash. I just manage our finances so that we get past whatever difficulties are on the way. They go to work, they do their work, they're stressed at their job, whatever the fuck, they come home, the house is here, it stands. Right? I am my grandmother, taking responsibility for my role to my family. We just don't want to talk about our problems all the time. And this is a male strength. Don't fucking pretend you want us to be women, because you don't want fucking soy boys. You talk about them like they're important to you, but you don't want to settle down and marry a soy boy. You just want to... They're good for sticking a dick in you when you need a dick, but they're not fucking much good for anything else. This is another excuse for men to behave like infants. Men behave irresponsibly, not like infants. Right? One of the ways we de-stress is to do stupid things. I'm in my fucking 50s. I've got rock climbing gear. I've got an electric skateboard. I've got a mountain bike. I do a certain amount of stupid shit because I enjoy the break away from every other thing in my life by doing something stupid. But I also have a workshop. I'm doing up a bus as a motorhome. This is also part of what I do to break myself away from other shit going on around me. This isn't behaving like an infant. This is simply getting your mind off the crap rather than sit around and fucking talk with people about it. Moron. You know nothing about men, but you're happy to write about what men should be doing. His world gets thrown upside down when you're dissatisfied with him, and the only thing... You're still fucking going on this one bloody tangent? Is this the rest of your article? I'm halfway through this fucking article. You've only mentioned two things. His world gets thrown upside down when you're dissatisfied with him, and the only thing he knows is to do is either get defensive or shut off. Yeah. It's actually... Look, you get involved with that nagging bitch who can't find anything good about you, and it just closes you down. My other partner, right? I've talked about one of my partners. My other partner has this thing about I'm trying to learn a language because she's from a different country. She's an immigrant. She's not an immigrant. She's still of the nationality that she originated. But she's a permanent resident, and she speaks a different language from birth. I'm trying to learn said language. She wants me to say it. She wants me to go through my lessons saying the words, which sometimes I do. But when she's around, I shut down and go quiet because her criticism of what I'm doing, right? She's not positively critical. She's really terrible at just saying that's not right. So yes, I go defensive and I shut down. I'd almost bet you do the same. But I'd almost bet that no guys are willing to tell you you're a fucking dumb bitch and shut up. You'd go all feminist and rag about how men are so fucking horrible and the patriarchy and shit. You go and cry to my girlfriend now. Yeah, fuck off. Come on, you're better than this. This is the same exact sentiment as all of the above. Get it together. Stop making insane generalizations and excuses about men. No. This is not an excuse about men. It's a statement about women. It's a statement about how you behave when women do certain things, behave in certain ways. This is not an excuse for men. This is a statement about the behavior of people like you. Most importantly, stop making women do all the work. What? No, you want to do all the work. All you fucking want to do is talk. You want men to talk too. You want everyone to talk. You've made it clear that you want everyone to fucking talk. Men don't want to talk. Therefore, you're doing all the work because you want the work done. They don't want to do the work. They'd rather you left them alone. By telling us the only way to make a man happy is to shut up and protect their egos. No, this is not about ego. It's really not. It's just about not fucking getting negative feedback all the time. That's not to do with your ego. Because, trust me, my ego's doing fine. My fucking language lessons, yes, I'm learning Chinese. My Chinese lessons are going fine. My wife sat beside me and watched me running through them the other day, and she was amazed at how well I was doing with them. She commented such. But I still won't talk in front of her because her criticism is not what I'm looking for. This is not about ego. My ego's just fine whether I speak Chinese Mandarin with my wife around or not. Right? Ego is not the issue. You're essentially telling us that the men that we know and love are less developed than a 4-year-old child, and gotta say you're wrong. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. A 4-year-old child will come and tell you what's wrong with them. In fact, they'll dob everyone in around them who did it to them. Don't be a copycat. If you're meeting him for the first time, use the chameleon effect from Love Signals. What the fuck? Did someone write this? Did a guy write this? Are you sure this wasn't some feminist rag? Because I don't even know what the fuck this shit is. And which guys are reading shit called Love Signals? Fucking, I wouldn't even pick that up. Mirroring movements and gestures show that you're interested. What? We like people who are similar to us. If he moves from slouching to sitting up straight a few seconds later, what the fuck? Seriously, did you read this in a feminist rag? Did you read this from a dating coach or something equally stupid? Where the fuck did you read this shit? Who the fuck is reading anything called Love Signals where you learn to fucking mimic the movements of other people? Fucking hell. You know what I like most about people is honesty. And mimicking my fucking movements to try and impress me is not fucking honest. Okay, so just make sure not to have anything individual about yourself and copy everything he does. Listen, if he coughs, cough. If he cries, cry with him. If he orders steak and you're a vegan, whelp, order the steak. Make sure that there is apparently absolutely nothing. Get fucked. Seriously, get fucked. I think you might have read this from some female dating coach. Or some feminist who thinks that this is how men think. You're a fucking idiot. Look, unless you fucking cite where this came from, I'm not believing that any guy is reading a thing called Love Signals. Fucking hell. You're just hanging out with soy boys, aren't you? They're reading what they think you want them to read. I just can't with this train of thought. I cannot comprehend this. Well, I can't either. I can't even comprehend how you pick this up as something serious. Was it a female of a religious persuasion that you read this from? Something like that? Because I doubt this was written by a man. In an entirely different article on an entirely different subject, I read about what men don't care about. And boy, was I disappointed. We don't care about your hair or makeup isn't perfect today. Dead set true. We do care that you appear to look after yourself. We just don't give a fuck if you got out of bed without makeup on. Or you're walking around the house with your hair not done up. Right? As long as we know you're looking after yourself, you're not a fucking pig, then, yeah, we're fine, okay? In fact, there's a hell of a lot we will put up with beyond simply your hair's a bit messy. Fucking hell, we're not too hard to please, we guys. We don't care about those few extra pounds that you want to lose. Yeah, we really don't. I have gotten older. My partners have gotten older. We all lose our fucking shapes, and I just don't care. I know what I've got. I know the value of what I've got in my partners, and I know the value of what I had when I got them. I know the value of what they were when they were younger. I know how they've aged, and I know the value of it now. And I don't really care whether there's a pound or two between what someone else thinks is ideal and what I see. It doesn't matter. We don't care that you have a few drinks on a date, but don't overdo it. Actually, women are like this too, you know. I would say most women just don't like guys coming in pissed all the time. I don't know why you think this here is important or significant. This is just people. On the whole, when you're not stoned, stoned people are boring. And I've been stoned people, and when I'm hanging out with stoned people are alright. But when you're not stoned and you're hanging out with stoned people, just not the same. So if you're going home to a sober wife and you are absolutely fucking blind drunk rolling in the door, yeah, it's no fun for them. And that goes both ways. Note the double entendres there. Isn't perfect today. Few extra pounds. And don't overdo it. Why would I note that? Why is it important? Why isn't that part of the statement that works? Go on, make your point. Make your point about the double entendres as if they are fucking, the be-all and end-all of everything. Come on. What about if my hair or makeup aren't perfect every day? Or I have more than a few extra pounds? Well, fucking hell. Or how about if I do get drunk on occasion? Well, did anyone say anything about this? Did anyone say you have to wake up fucking looking perfect every morning? Or, no, look. I think the point you're missing is we don't give a fuck about your hair. We just don't. You get out of bed, you go and brush it, fine. You're going to put it up, you're going to put it down, you're going to fucking go and have it all cut off. Now, maybe if you had it all cut off, we might have words to say about why'd you do that. But on the whole, as couples, we make choices together. And the choice to get out of bed together and look a bit fucking wrung out from the day before is just life. So none of this meant anything. You don't want the guys to have choices. You don't want the guys to have an opinion. You don't want the guys to think, okay, I'd like you to, when we go out to dinner in a fancy restaurant, I don't want you to look like you just stepped out of bed. No, that's not good enough for you. I'm wondering whether or not if you went to that fancy restaurant and he went in his fucking thongs and his shorts straight out of the workshop in his welding shirt, you'd be fucking happy. Or do you expect him to wake up every morning and get out of bed in a three-piece suit? Clean shave, by the way. None of us are. Don't give a fuck. You're reading in... Shut up, phone. I have to do that every time I record. I just don't give a fuck. You're telling us that we're not allowed to have choices. So, yes. Let's read to the end, shall we? I might as well. We're there. Please stop writing about what you may or may not care about, because let me tell you right now, we absolutely do not care if you care or not. These kinds of articles are damaging to everybody, regardless of gender or sexuality. No, they're fucking not. None of this is dangerous to anyone, especially those who are particularly impressionable. Well, maybe we should be saying to impressionable people, look to please other people a little bit in your life. Don't just fucking pretend that you can just be you in a world where other people are going to interact with you, right? All those fucking piercings on your face, the big loop earrings with a fucking great hole in you. Every person in the street is not going to want to talk to you or know you when you look like that. Trust me, I fucking won't. So how about we teach people that they do live in a world with other people, and maybe they do have some responsibility to try and, at least think a little bit about what other people are going to think of them. I'm not saying you can't do these things, but maybe we shouldn't all be going out to be as fucking horrendous as we can possibly be, because, you know, it's just other people. Fuck them. Especially, you're talking about what men would prefer. This, I'm assuming this means in relationships. I can tell you now, I have gone out with a woman who had a tattoo once in my life. And she had a tattoo on her fucking ankle of a rose. And I found that fucking thing so distracting, it was ridiculous. I'm not someone who just likes tattoos. I have a relationship with 2 women who do not have tattoos. No problem. I don't care if their hair's a mess. I don't care if they don't shave their armpits or any of that other shit. But a fucking tattoo would be too hard for me. Too fucking hard. I just don't know. It's like 50 years ago, the only people who had tattoos were sailors and sluts. Right? Sailors and hookers were the only people with tattoos. And somehow I managed to grow up without a taste for tattoos. Big deal. It doesn't mean I expect everyone to meet exactly my need, right? Fucking hell. And I don't know who this would be harming that I don't like a tattoo. Who the fuck is it harming, really? I cannot fathom how poorly this would impact someone with low self-esteem. These articles are garbage, and they reek of privilege and misogyny. No, they fucking don't. They reek of men who don't have no privilege. They reek of men who are looking for relationships, what they would prefer in somebody, because they do not have the preferred somebody. What the fuck are you talking about privilege? You're the bitch with the privilege. You've got the privilege to say to these guys, don't tell me what to do. I've got these soy boys are looking after me. These guys don't have privilege. It's got nothing to fucking do with privilege. And it has nothing to do with misogyny. As we noted at the top, these men would like to have a relationship with a woman. They are spelling out what they would prefer in a relationship with a woman. They don't hate women. Misogyny. It suggests they hate women. And you have no fucking reason to have that claim when you in your first paragraph said these men were after something from women. Something they wanted from women, that they liked in women. That's not fucking misogyny, you dumb bitch. Let's put an end to giving people horrible advice like this and start respecting women and men for that matter, because all of this essentially states that men are stupid and unable to handle even basic emotion confrontation. No, none of that is true. Absolutely fucking none of it. And I don't believe that you want to respect men, because you don't want men to have any of these sorts of opinions. So you're not respecting them, because you're not respecting their right to have these opinions. This very article is a document of disrespect towards these men, where you abuse them for having misogyny and privilege and patriarchy. So it's not only a document of disrespect, it's a document of abuse. Now, you call them children at least 3 or 4 times through this document. You tell them they can't handle emotional confrontation. No, we just handle it in a different way. You haven't taken the time to respect the differences between men and women. So the only men you're willing to respect are the ones who bow down to your idea of what a man is meant to be. You fucking soy boys. I'm tired of reading these articles about how you should be too. Yes, I'm fucking tired of reading your feminist tripe telling men how they should be. How they shouldn't have opinions. How they're not allowed to like certain things about women, or even not like certain things about women, or not give a flying fuck about certain things about women. How dare they express any opinion? I get fucking sick of these articles too, and I read way too many of the fucking stupid things. It's time to speak up against this and make sure that men know that this will not stand. Go and Go and fucking shove your head up your own cooch, will you? Fucking hell. Fucking hell. Anyway, I think you might get the idea why this article had to be covered. I really, really got fucking pissed at this shit, I tell you. Time and time again I read articles by feminists telling men what they have to be, and here comes this fucking article telling men they're not allowed to have any fucking opinions. And I know this isn't the first one of these I've read either, but this was fucking lame, this one. That's it. I got nothing more. I'm going to take the weekend off to go and do some shopping for business. I live 350 kilometres away from the nearest shopping centre, so, you know, it is a shopping trip for business. What can I tell you? It's got to be done. I've been putting it off for ages. I've been ordering shit online for about 2 months now, so I could observe the lock-in and not travel. Well, 3 days till I'm allowed to travel, and I'm fucking going anyway. Righto, I'm allowed to travel for business. I've just been putting it off because my wife gets all narky about it. Other partner, not partner I'm travelling with. Anyway, doesn't matter. I've been the anti-theocrat. I will see you in the next one. May gods remain fictional and all that crap. Don't take any advice from feminists, will you? Just never, ever. Men, women, anyone. Just fucking ignore feminists. Have your opinions, live your lives, do your thing, tell them to fuck off. I said all the shit that I've got to say, didn't I? Well, I'm out of here. See you in the next one.